Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Want to give you guys a heads up on some of the best Steam game deals under the price of $5. You know how these videos go, a lot of great deals, and certainly not enough time to play all these games, but that seems to be the dilemma that we are all in these days. We fight this battle against the backlog together, so it is what it is. Let us get right into it, and let's kick things off with some of these deals from the QuakeCon sale. How about we give a mention to Evil Within right away, 75% off for $4.99. Let's celebrate the absolutely awesome news that Tango Gameworks will be preserved by Krafton. Krafton obviously known for PUBG, but whatever way that is necessary to have Tango Gameworks preserved, this is great. Hi-Fi Rush as an IP is going to be preserved. That's just absolutely fantastic news. You know, things could be working out a little bit differently for the ideal situation, but you know, at the end of the day, as long as they are preserved, it's great. And Evil Within itself was a great survival horror action title. Not blow away from a gameplay standpoint, but from the psychological and atmosphere elements, absolutely tremendously well done. And for $4.99, great pickup. You can also pick up the Evil Within bundle that comes with the DLC for $6.24. Which I would say is actually a really, really solid pickup. But if you're into horror games, want to check out there. Next up, EA is running a bunch of deals right now as well. Dragon Age Origins Ultimate Edition is 90% off for $2.99. And then Dragon Age Inquisition is on sale as well. I like to give mention to both of these because Origins, while it is without a doubt an absolutely phenomenal game, the issue is that it is a game that requires keyboard and mouse. It was kind of designed to have a keyboard and mouse as a focal point of it. So playing the game without keyboard and mouse was always going to be a problem, but Dragon Age Origins is absolutely awesome, and I think it's one of those games that you should just, you know, if you're a controller-only guy, try to get a keyboard and mouse set up. I mean, most of you guys have that, but stomach using a keyboard and mouse and play through the game because it's fantastic. And then Dragon Age Inquisition is a great game as well. This one obviously supports controllers right out the gate, and it is very, very well done. I would say it's the last really great game that BioWare put out. Unfortunately, they are a shell of their former selves, but we'll see if they can, you know, kind of course correct with Dragon Age the Veilguard. Spoiler alert! I mean, I can't really say spoiler alert. I was about to say I don't think it's gonna happen, but that's just me being awfully pessimistic for no reason, which I do have a tendency to do, but let's just hope Veilguard turns out kind of decent. Next up, Watch Dogs 1, 75% off for $4.99. You know, Watch Dogs is a very interesting franchise to talk about. It's wild to think about that Watch Dogs 1 came out 10 years ago, over 10 years ago at this point. And if you guys remember, ahead of Watch Dogs 1's release, this game had a gargantuan amount of hype. It was a literal juggernaut in the making, but ultimately Watch Dogs 1 did not resonate at the level I think a lot of people expected it to be, but really going into the release of the game, people had thought that this was going to be another Assassin's Creed level IP for Ubisoft. Never turned out to be that, but Watch Dogs 1 is still a really cool game. There's also a great mod, the Living City mod, I believe it's called, that really does amplify the game. $4.99 for the game I think is great, and you're going into it with much tempered expectations now versus what we went into it back in 2014, and it's going to be a worthwhile time to go through. $4.99 for Watch Dogs 1, not a bad pickup at all. Next up, we got Titanfall 2, the Ultimate Edition, 90% off for $2.99. I mean, Titanfall 2 is one of those games that I'm sure you guys are familiar with the story of this game and how much this game got done dirty by the publisher themselves. Like, EA did this game dirty right out the gate by releasing this game right around the time of their own published FPS in Battlefield 1. Like, what were we doing there? And on top of that, I think it was COD Infinite Warfare had just come out as well. It was just sent out to slaughter. I get it that we gotta release these games when timing calls for it, but there's gotta be some better ways to do this. And Titanfall 2 ended up being a great game, far better than Titanfall 1. It had a single-player campaign, which guess what? That single-player campaign is really, really good. And yeah, for $2.99, just playing through the campaign, I think is well worth it. Definitely would give that a shout. It's got an overwhelmingly positive reception as well, 200,000 reviews, which is wild to see with that many reviews, so definitely check that out. 90% for $2.99, good price there. Next up, we got SteamWorld SteamWorld Dig 2, 80% off for $3.99. A market that is absolutely saturated with a lot of great games is the Metroidvania genre, and SteamWorld Dig 2 was one of those games that came out with a lot of critical acclaim. It has an 85 on Metacritic. Guess what? It's got an overwhelmingly positive reception on Steam, but didn't resonate at the level of being a Metroidvania that a ton of people talked about. I thought the game was incredibly colorful. I thought there was some enjoyable gameplay. Art style's great, presentation's great, just a really charming Metroidvania. For $3.99, I think that's a pretty good pickup as well. Saints Row 4 re-elected, 75% off for $4.99. This deal's only available for another day or so jump on this as soon as possible if you're interested. You know, Volition also has a fairly sad story as far as what happened with them, especially with Saints Row. Was it 2022, 2021? What year did Saints Row come out? But you get the idea. That game was a train wreck. Saints Row 4, I mean, Saints Row is always going to be a bit of a train wreck. That's kind of the charm of Saints Row, and Saints Row 4 is an over-the-top, action-pack filled with fun, comedy, and just over-the-top, nonsensical gameplay. And if you're into something that you could just mentally uncheck from, Saints Row is always going to give you a pretty good time. For this price point of $4.99, I think that's a good pickup. XCOM 2 is 95% off for $2.99. This is for the base game. The special edition, complete edition, isn't on sale right now, so, you know, check out the base game. $2.99 is a great price point, and XCOM 2 is an excellent tactics-based title. Can get fairly challenging, but very rewarding as well. And tactics games aren't really up my alley, but I really enjoyed XCOM 2. Had a litany of performance issues at launch. A lot of that has gotten much better, so yeah, $3 for that. I think it's a great deal. Next up, we got Dead Space 2, 80% off for $3.99. I mean, Dead Space is another franchise that's going to be shelved for the foreseeable future after Dead Space Remake, I guess, didn't do as well as people expected it to. But, at least, not people, I should say EA. EA has some grandiose expectations out of their game, and Motive is now shifting to, doing a Marvel title. I think they're working on the Iron Man game, don't quote me on that, or Wonder Woman, one of those games. But Dead Space 2, circling back to that, is an awesome game, incredible atmosphere. You know, maybe some of the horror thematics of Dead Space 1 got a little bit redundant with Dead Space 2, if you want to say that, but I still think the game is absolutely phenomenal. Go play the remake and then follow up by playing Dead Space 2 for $4. It's a great pickup. Next up, we got Doom 2016, $4 on this, also as a part of the QuakeCon sale. I mean, Doom 2016 is a classic, over-the-top mayhem action gameplay, great soundtrack as well. Doom 2016 is just a worthwhile time. Lengthy campaign, all things considered, for a single-player FPS, so definitely check that out. And lastly, want to give a shout to Dishonored. You can get the base game 75% off for $249, and then Dishonored, the Definitive Edition, 75% off for $4.99 with the DLC. Dishonored 1 is absolutely awesome. I wish that Arcane would circle back and do a Dishonored 3, but they're working on Marvel's Blade. It just seems like every IP is going to get canned just so we can do Marvel titles. Screw Dead Space, screw Dishonored, screw Ratchet and Clank for Insomniac. I get it, yo, these Marvel games sell like hotcakes. Marvel's hot, but yeah, your boy would just like to see more of the IPs that he grew up with. Your Ratchets, your Dishonoreds, your Dead Spaces of the world. You know, I would love to see those franchises get you know, they're just due, but it is what it is. Dishonored's absolutely awesome, and visually, it employed a pretty unique art style back in 2012 that's aged fairly well. It's not a technical masterclass by any stretch of the imagination, but it's fairly well done, and the gameplay is pretty good as well. So definitely give that a look. Dishonored 1 is a classic, so definitely would give that a recommendation. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a ton of great deals available right now, so definitely go check those out on Steam. Links to all of these in the description box below. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.